Oh, look at that. Wow. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies that will benefit you and to try and make the craft just this much more enjoyable. Now today we are going back to our good friends from Kingart and we are going to be trying out their acrylic pens. They're acrylic paint pens. Paint pens seem to be the thing to do nowadays. Everyone is using paint pens, and you know what? They're not necessarily cheap, but Kingart is giving you an alternative to that. And in the past, you know that I like the Kingart brand. They do fantastic stuff, so I'm always willing to try out new things from Kingart, and this is one of them. So I'm very excited to try these out and see if they're actually worth it. So, come on. Let's go check them out. Alright, as you can see, nothing really specific or special to the presentation of the paint pens. They are on a piece of chipboard with a piece of plastic over top. And once again, you know, if you want to keep costs down, there's got to be some type of give in some things, and therefore not doing anything super crazy with the display or the presentation of your product is very easy, cost-effective measures. Now this is part of their studio brand. They have a couple different ones, but this is part of their studio, and it says that it has 12 vivid colors. It's water-based pigment, use on most surfaces, and waterproof and light fast when dries. On the back pretty much says the same thing. Tip size is 2 millimeters. You get 12 colors. Here are your colors, and then it tells you a little bit about the Kingart. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack into this. As usual, we're going to be using 300 series Bristol board, smooth paper for the test. I'm also going to be using some chipboard just because it's like cardboard, and we'll get to see what it's like. Okay. They're in there. All right. Okay, so got those out. Yay. Pull this one out. Okay, so the plastic is very sturdy. Right, it is a very sturdy plastic. You can't even fight that. Like it feels real nice. Actually, it's got some weight to it. So that's really cool. I like that. You know, it doesn't feel plasticky. And the cap maybe a little bit, but not, I mean, and it looks like a regular pen, right? Like it could be your typical Posca pen or Sharpie permanent paint marker. So that's really nice. It's got a nice snap to it. All right, nice snap. See if it posts. Yeah, it does post. It's weird though. It doesn't feel like it should post. But once you push it, you have to push it in all the way, right? Once you push it in all the way, it stays. So that's cool. I did notice that there are some instructions. Shake well with cap on several times. Press down until ink flows, and then place cap on pen tightly after use. Sorry. So we're gonna shake it up. And then, so we don't actually ruin our paper, we're gonna let the flow come down on these. Now I saw somewhere on a different paint pen they said you shouldn't like do that, like that's not really going to help, but you're supposed to let the ink actually just come down. So you're supposed to push down, right, and let the ink kind of flow. Doing it fast all the time doesn't really do anything, so I heard. So okay, so there we go, not that long to activate. Oh, look at that. Wow. Nice flow. The color on this is super vibrant. Not necessarily the color that I would say that is on the cap, so you kind of got to know what you're getting yourself into, but wow, look at that. And then because it's paint, there is no overlap. It just is color. So if we were to done. Wow, look at that. That is something. That, you know what? Wow. Okay. So that was supposed to be pink. That's really dark. So I'm gonna try these. Okay, I shook it up. Look over here. This is the hardest part. Letting the ink flow down through it. It's just like, Maybe this one you do need to kind of help it along. Once it starts flowing, then you can do the long pauses. Okay, the other one went a lot faster. Maybe I shook it up longer. So one thing for me, it's where I get impatient. There we go. Okay. So now we got the color. Wow, man, once it gets going, once it's in there, it's very nice. Nice flow. Unless, of course, you didn't have any. So the one thing is that this is definitely I didn't, let me down on that one. Yeah, see, maybe it was just, yeah, it doesn't post. I thought it did, but it doesn't. But since it is such a medium size, right? It makes medium size lines, so you're not going to get rid. I mean, I guess depending on how you want to hold it. Nah, that side didn't have ink on it, so that's why it was able to make smaller lines, but it flows very nicely. Okay, let's see about this yellow. I'm gonna shake this one up a lot. I mean, I cannot deny the coverage of these pens. They look fantastic. Right, and I've used the Posca pens, and they look good too. Right, they got a different variety of sizes and whatnot, but I mean, these are pretty darn good. Now this one's going to be interesting because I can't necessarily see. The sponge was yellow. So I can't really tell. We're not going to know until the ink actually flows out. Oh, I think some came out. Alright, so we got some. Wow, that is a very bright yellow. I mean, the colors on these are just super duper vibrant. And, I mean, look at that. They're just. The flow on this. Now, I wonder what happens if we go over something. Oh! Okay, so this is a light one, but like it goes over these darker lines as well. So I could only assume that if we did the light, we did a light one and then we did the dark over top of that, it would actually go better because some of it, well, it's water based, right? So it's a water based ink. So I guess going over it again kind of is starting to eat up on the paper. But I mean, being able to come in to just be able to do that, right? You can just fill it in like that. That is fantastic. I think these are great. So we're gonna do blue, and then we're gonna do this purple, and then we're gonna do this green. We're gonna shake those up together because what I want to do is I want to try the black and the white on the chipboard and see how those work. But as of right now, for the, what did I paid, I think $15 for these 12 paint markers. I think it's been well worth it. These are great. I mean, nice, strong, vibrant colors. Activate them both at the same time. Save us some time here. Seems like the purple one's ready to go. Yeah. The purple one's crazy. Like, the purple one already had some ink coming out of it. Oh, green one's going, okay. Alright, looks like we're good to go on both of those now. So, put the purple one back a little bit. Just, I mean, like I said, once it's in there, once the ink has been activated, these are just so nice. Like, I can't really describe it much better besides the ink flow is absolutely fantastic. The colors are vibrant. There we go. I was about to say, it's like, man, just started talking and then all of a sudden it doesn't want to work, but there it goes. Like I said, once the ink starts, you can, the amount of coverage, just like, right, just being able to go over a marker like this is just, I mean, but okay, so I am starting to see something though, right? Because it is a water-based marker, you can actually see the lines underneath. So going over them, not necessarily the best thing to do, because it's not an opaque marker, right? It's not just pure paint. So that's why it's not necessarily going over top, although this one was nice, the light yellow over top. But looking at this, I can see the yellow, right? Or when it's covered, I see the purple, or I can see the line from the yellow. So it's not opaque enough to go over the other paint. Okay. So bring this over. Now we're gonna test the white and black, because normally for me, those are the big things, right? They're the ones that normally, they either work really well or they don't work at all. And so this is gonna be, for me, this is the true test. The colors are great and they normally work, and these seem to be working absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna do the black one first, and we are just gonna do these individually because it's just gonna be these two. Get the ink, kind of get that ink in there, hopefully. The one thing with these paint markers, you have to be absolutely willing to be patient until you actually get them going, because even once you have it going, you're gonna have to shake it. Like if you put them away, you're like, oh, I'll use these tomorrow. Then once you, right, you gotta shake it up again, get the ink in there, but still. Oh, wow. All right, so you, wow. Look at that, it's so nice on this. So very nice. Right, just, angry face. It flows so nice, and it's just like I said, just being able to come back over it. Now, is it picking up? No, I was gonna say that it was, because it's water based, it was picking up the chipboard, but it really isn't, and it dries super fast. Right, even this, it was like it dries super duper fast. So I mean, this might just be your next paint marker pickup. If this white is good, And I'm about, because we're gonna do this white, and then we're gonna try something, because I see a lot of comic book artists and stuff, and they're doing these things called remarks. Okay, that's not there yet. See, like I said, here's the thing, like you gotta make sure that it is actually completely flowing in there, because otherwise it's just water, right? And that's, so we're gonna, I see it, but we're gonna go ahead and shake it up just a little bit more. That way we can see, because if it's not mixed all the way, then when it comes out, it just gives watery. And that's not what we want. And see, that was the thing I told you, like the water, the white's not working, right? It's not mixing, and I can see just on the actual nib of the brush, or of the brush. No, it's not a brush. The bullet, that it's not mixing. It's not mixed together. And so maybe, a little bit more shaking will help, and it'll pull all the ink and paint and stuff down so we can actually use it. But it doesn't look like it, which is sad, right? Because every other color was absolutely phenomenal, but this white isn't mixing, right? And like I said, that's the big one for me, because it's not working. But I did just make a mark over here, right? And it's like I did just make a mark over there, and it seems like here the white seems to be working, but on the chipboard it didn't like it so much. No, it's still watery. Yeah, as it's drying, it's still watery. So I don't exactly know why. Right, and that's always a problem. Depending on what you get, you might actually have something that's just dead on arrival, and it seems as though this white is just like that, which is sad, right? But from everything else that we get, maybe not, because this green worked just fine over there. And it did say that it works on most surfaces, but I'm starting to believe that maybe it's the chipboard. So this is one of the surfaces that it doesn't like, because remember, we used that green earlier. Yeah, and it flows out just fine on paper, but not on. So I mean, yeah, you can use the white on paper, right, and go over. You can use it to go over all the paints and stuff, so it will sit on top of that, so that's good. But I think I had to just keep mixing it because it was very translucent. So there you go. Alright, so we just got done reviewing the Kingart water-based acrylic paint markers, and you know what? On paper, these were fantastic. These are absolutely great. I really enjoyed them. The ink flow was crazy. It dried nicely and even, and you could go over paper. Because it's water-based, it's always a fear of mine that it's not going to work, right? And that it's going to tear up my paper. But this actually worked really, really well. It flowed nicely, but like I said, it flowed really nicely on paper. As we noticed with the chipboard, only the black was laid down on it with no problems, but the white, the green, we tried some other ones, and it just didn't work as well as it did on the paper, right? Because the water was seeping into the actual board, and so it may work well with glass, but I think it'll also be a little bit watery, but it has nothing to seep into, so maybe glass would be a good one. But it did warn us at the very beginning that it only works with most, right? So there are surfaces that it doesn't like, and it seems like the chipboard was one of them. But besides that, for the price and how it flowed, if you want to use this on some paper, Bristol board, which is nice and heavy, these will be absolutely fantastic. They are well worth the money. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that this gave you some type of information that was useful and that you will be able to informatively buy new materials to help you along with your artistic journey. Now, if there is a product that you would like me to review, please go ahead and drop it in the comments below and I will go ahead and add it to the list. If you're new to the channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.